What is up? What is good, everybody? Thank you for tuning into Yeezy TV once again. If it's your first time here, which based on my analytics is actually most of you, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button. Check out some more of my content. But without further ado, let's get into what we have today. As you can tell by the title, we are going to be unboxing a pair of these Sulfur 350s. But real quick, before we get into that, I just want to show you guys this quick little thing that I picked up from Reebok. Actually, I know Reebok's making some sort of a comeback. A lot of people aren't really wearing Reebok, but you know, hashtag Bach boys. But just want to open this up real quick, and that's mainly due to, if any of you, and I'm sure a lot of you have been keeping up with the amazing documentary that is The Last Dance. If you guys haven't been watching it, I highly recommend either even jumping in now or after it's all done airing on ESPN, watching it afterwards. That's probably what I'm gonna do. I've been watching every Sunday, but I think when everything's over with, I'm still gonna go back and binge watch all of it in a row, just because there's a lot of time jumps in it. But definitely a great documentary. I think everybody should check it out, whether you're somebody who watched Michael growing up, or if you're somebody like me who didn't watch Michael growing up but wants to learn more. If you guys watched, in one of the episodes they talked about the Olympics in Barcelona and how Reebok was the team sponsor for all of the US Olympic gear. MJ, being a Nike athlete, a really proud Nike athlete, wasn't gonna don a Reebok logo on his chest. And it was the Olympic uniform provider, so he didn't have much of a choice. So instead, what he did is he took a US flag, right? A lot of people at the Olympics will put on their country's flag, and part of the flag covered the Reebok logo. So this isn't the original track jacket, the same exact style, but what Reebok did, which I thought was kind of cool, was that I think it was a few days after the episode aired, they released a special limited quantity of a remake of the jacket. Now again, it's not exactly the same, which I think is the one thing they missed on. If they would have made it exactly the same, right, retail price on this was 80 bucks, they could have charged 100 and it still would have sold out. Like, that original track jacket they showed from those Olympics was amazing, but this is probably as close as we're gonna get, and I just thought it was a cool little thing, and I needed a couple extra USA things. I hope we get a July 4th this year, but this would definitely be a great July 4th piece. So I just wanted to open up, show you guys. Retail was 80 bucks. Super cool piece. I believe it's sold out, but here it is, right? So you got the stars and stripes. And I think the coolest piece is this big Reebok on the back. Super lightweight, definitely something you could wear in the summer. So as you can see, it's kind of a thin, like tracksuit type material. It's got these thick cuffs which reminisce of older clothing that you don't really find nowadays, but it's got some elements that I definitely like that are inspired from the original. But again, like I said, it's definitely not the original, but definitely a cool piece I thought I'd pick up and I thought I'd show. Anyway, main course here, that was the appetizer. This is the main course. What you guys probably came here for, the Sulfur colorway. If you guys haven't seen yet, I'll put a little card up. You can check out my release recap from the Saturday on which these released and the Royal Toes. Let's get this guy open. Boom, there it is, guys. 350 bucks. You guys have seen this before. Yeezy Boost 350, Sulfur, Sulfur, Sulfur. And also, real quick, you guys know recently I've been wearing the hoodies a lot. As you can see, I've got a t-shirt on. This wasn't planned, the USA theme with the USA jacket, but it's 77 degrees out right now. My friends always ask me, why do you check your watch to know what the weather is? I'm not being funny. I have a smart watch, so the weather isn't a part of it. But anyway, it's 77 degrees out, super nice. It sucks that the weather is so nice. It's some of the best weather we've gotten over here in a little bit. But of course, things aren't exactly normal right now. 350 bucks, let's take a look at them. I haven't seen them, and nor have a lot of you. This release was a little weird just because, like I said, you can check out my release recap. But without going into it too far, leading up to it, there really weren't that many real pictures of it in hand. I think there was like one or two, and you know, with a lot of Yeezy colorways nowadays, especially something unique like this Sulfur colorway, you really got to see it in hand. The pictures really don't do it justice, so definitely happy to grab these in hand. But let's pull these out. Ooh, whoa, wow. You can take a look at the tag there. And here they are, guys, the Sulfur 350. So unfortunately no on feet, obviously, because these aren't my size, and these are gonna go for the resale. First things first is this green upper. We gotta talk about it, right? This is the main thing people weren't sure about. And it definitely seemed like, partially due to the lack of pictures and partially due to this being a very niche shoe, that day of release, It didn't seem like these were as hyped as some of the other previous 350 releases, but we've seen a lot of different earth tones and greens from Yeezy, especially on the 350s, and this is definitely another one of them. I really don't know how I feel. I've never seen this kind of green before. I definitely get very fall type vibes from it. I understand it's not a traditional fall type green. I mean, I could see these in the summer as well. Personally, if I were to wear these, I'd probably have to wear a lot of white on top with these. Definitely gonna be a hard shoe to style, and I'm happy that I grabbed these to see in hand, but I'm also happy I didn't get them for the personal, because I definitely don't need a shoe like this. If I'm gonna go green, I think this summer I'm gonna go something close to like the Yeezy reels that I just picked up. Definitely a great colorway. I really like the upper. I think the one thing that's thrown me a little bit off is this midsole that's in that same kind of green, and I'm not sure how I feel about it on the midsole, but on the upper it's pretty decent actually. We'll give you a look there on the back. You guys can take a look at it, as you can see there, and the bottoms as well. And if you notice here on this pair, just a small little thing, but right there at the back you can see some of that yellow paint. Kind of wasn't cleanly done. It got in the crevices there a little bit. Not a huge deal, but just something I noticed. I gotta say, these definitely were better than I thought they looked in pictures. I will say that much. Again, they're not nice enough that I'm like, oh, I wish I would have got my own size. Let's actually take out the paper from the inside so you guys can get a better look at that little stripe there, as you guys can see. Super interesting color, super interesting. I really have nothing to really compare this to. I do like the inside here. It's like this charcoal gray. It might even come off on black on the camera, but it's like a dark charcoal gray. It's like a dark charcoal gray instead of a black, which I actually really like. It's kind of cool. Small touch, but very cool. Pull out the insole, you can even see part of that sulfur colored little fuse right there. You can see it coming through. I think what would have maybe been sick is, instead of giving me, you know, sulfur on the upper, sulfur on the midsole, why not give me sulfur on the upper and that grayish color on the midsole? I think that'd be super sick. You see slight hits of that darkish gray through the stripe, right? Like here on the reinforced eyelet and up here on the pattern part. Yeah, it's a 350 V2. It is what it is. It is what it is. I just love that. I just love that. Yeah, guys, so this is the 350 V2 Sulfur. I know a lot of people didn't get a look at it before, so if this is your first time getting a real good look at them, I would really greatly appreciate you hitting that thumbs up button. It really goes a long way. But we're not done here yet. We definitely are going to talk hold or sell. Obviously, as I mentioned before, these are size 8.5, which is far away from my size 10.5 that I wear in Yeezys. So these are going to get sold eventually. So that's the key word here, eventually. Obviously, day of release. Right before they release, prices are at a certain point, and then usually when they release, they drop a little bit throughout the week until people start receiving them, and then we start seeing where they go. So right now, I don't think the prices are exactly where I want to sell at, right? So after shipping and fees and everything, the amount that I'm paying to Yeezy Supply is right under $230. What I was looking at just before this video is a size 8.5. If I were to sell now for whatever the highest bid was on StockX, I'd basically be making like lunch money or breaking even right around that range. So I'm definitely not going to sell right now. Seeing as these were more of a limited release, well, in the sense that they were a little bit harder to get for people, it seemed like the numbers of actual pairs of these were a lot lower than usual. I'm definitely not too afraid to hold on to these for a little bit. Of course, there's always the question with Yeezys is, oh, what happens if they restock this or that? I definitely agree with that sentiment, and I really think, to be honest, for the most part, that really only applies to older releases that they have sitting around, and also releases like, for example, the Zebras or the Wave Runners, right? You know, if there's going to be a big restock, like those are probably going to be included. If these were to restock, so be it. Do I think it would drive the price down that much? Not really, unless they were to do an actual full big run of releases rather than just a restock. Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to these for now. I'm gonna let them rise back up a little bit. I'm definitely not gonna hold for too long. I kind of want to get my money out of these. As I've mentioned before, guys, when it comes to shoes, and I'm a sneakerhead like a lot of you, but it's also valuing what I have in front of me, right? So especially when it comes to turning sneakers into something that's more akin to something like stocks, when we're holding and we're selling and we're looking for the price changes in the market, we're waiting for the market to get to a certain point. I do have to ask myself every time, what's the best use of the $230 or so that I put into this shoe? And right now, when it comes to hold or sell, I really think holding on to these is going to be the best avenue for me, right? I didn't invest $230 into these shoes and spend a few hours on a Saturday morning trying to get these just to let them go for a $10 profit or a $5 profit, especially when I think that the market's going to go up a lot more. So I'm personally going to hold on to these for a little bit, see where the market goes, and then we're going to try to sell. Let me know first off, did you guys have a chance to cop the Sulfurs? What do you think about this green color? It's definitely very unique. And you know what? I expect nothing less from Ye. But let me know what you guys think. You know, when you got them in hand, if you were lucky enough to get them, if you got them in hand, did you like the way they looked better than the pictures you saw before? Did you like the pictures before more than this? Like I said, I personally like the way they turned out better than the pictures, but still they weren't really that attractive enough to me that I thought I was going to grab a personal pair. And if it's your first time here, please take a look at my channel. I would greatly appreciate a subscribe, but at the very least, if you could hit me with a thumbs up down below, that goes a long way. Thank you so much. No on feet today, unfortunately, because it's not my size. But for now, guys, have a great day. Take it easy.